Hey, what the fuck they talking about? You hear what he playing? I'm on my way to college. Hey! Hey, the West United!
There are white women wearing kufiyas explaining rap beef on the internet. What a time to be alive. Anyway, you think Barack Obama is bumping Not Like Us this morning?
Y'all see how the energy shifted? When Drake dropped Push Up, everybody was like, oh, Kendrick gotta respond. Come on, Kendrick. Now that Kendrick has responded twice, the energy has shifted now. Everybody's like, hey, Drake, man, just, hey, chill, bro. Like, this ain't good, man. Look, I'm still a Cole fan. He's still in my top 3. But what Kendrick is doing right now, people are literally saying they get why he apologized. There's more people on Cole's side about this now than ever. Kendrick is going on a dissection. I don't even know if that's the right word to say it that way, but that's what he's doing. And I think even with the J. Cole thing, I think J. Cole came to rap. He wasn't going to go this level either. And I think that goes for Drake. I think Drake was going to rap, have some stuff here and there, but I don't think he was going to dissect like Kendrick is doing. He's going beyond than what we expected. And this is how great Kendrick is. He's making all this stuff layered upon layers on purpose because he wants you to dig. He wants you to research. Also now, it makes you re-listen to things multiple times now because you're going to hear the tracks differently because you found out new information. Because I'll be real with you, every time I found out new information about these tracks, especially the first one, Euphoria, I went back and listened to the song again. And it sounded different to me. It was different. I laughed at different stuff, all types of things. You're dealing with a mastermind. Now, people are saying they don't want Drake to respond. Bump all that. I want him to respond because I came to see war. I came to see two titans clash and get it on. So now I want Drake to at least drop one more track, at least one more. But I do feel like Kendrick had at least 2 to 3 more up his sleeve, possibly more.
I want you to understand how big this beef has gotten. This man, Kendrick, at this point might be the great unifier. Bro, because like I've seen book talk, Annie talk, bro. I seen law professors, goddamn like Pulitzer Prize winning authors, best-selling authors literally talking about this topic, bro, and they're all on Kendrick's side. And honestly, that just shows how much the disdain for Drake has gotten to where Kendrick unified all these people under the umbrella of dissing Drake. It's like, oh my god, at this point, it might solve world peace just off Metro dropping BBL Drizzy, bro, because I've seen every nationality, bro. I've seen people in like California and Compton, which is one of the most gang-riddled places possible, one of the most aggressive shooting places possible. Bunch of gangs on a FaceTime call together, all dancing to that song of Drake's demise. And at this point, I'm kind of just like, it's just beautiful, man. Shout out to y'all.
Dear 21 Savage, I really hate to bother you. I know you somewhere probably singing How Did You Get Here by Deborah Cox on your karaoke machine and keeping your nose clean to avoid further issues with immigration. But unfortunately, it's urgent. On your song Rich Flex, Drake asked you to talk to the ops for him, and currently the ops are running rampant. So what better time to render your services than now? I'm sure you heard the diss tracks from Kendrick and Metro Boomin. The Drake hate train has gone international. I've heard people rapping over the BBL Drizzy track in French and Japanese. They whooping the pigment off Drake's ass right now. Drake dropped a denial track called The Heart Part 6 and forgot to credit his fans as the ghostwriters. He literally took their online comments and made them rhyme on the beat. Saying that he had a mole to feed Kendrick a false narrative about being a deadbeat and a pedo is crazy work. Drake definitely ran through the hottest rappers in Atlanta for street cred and club bangers, hence that's why I'm reaching out to you. You and I both know that Aubrey is not on some slaughter gang shit. So from one immigrant to another, please help your brother out. Signed, a concerned hip-hop fan.
Mark my words, at some point in time, when Adonis is old enough and he gets mad at Drake, he's going to be on IG or whatever social media platform is the equivalent of IG, blasting Kendrick's song, because a minute 26 where he's like, you're gonna carry yourself like a king, your dad's a bitch, you'll understand this shit when you're 18. You know damn well at some point in time Drake is gonna piss Adonis off, and that's gonna be the song that's gonna come back and bite Drake in the fucking ass.
Not me thinking about the time in March me and my ex got into a fight because I said I like Kendrick Lamar and he said, ew no, Kendrick Lamar is bad, you should like Drake, and then showed me that he was so obsessed with Drake that he had the OVO merch tag hanging from his fucking rear view mirror and then dumped me. And for the last week, I've woken up every single morning and thought to myself, wow, it's a great morning to be a Kendrick Lamar fan.
The fact that Metro Boomin actually shut his whole ass up and made some drums. He said, make some drums. He said, I got you, don't worry.
Everybody's acting confused and offended because Drake said you're rapping like you're trying to free the slaves. What did you mean by that? Kendrick came through and provided clarity. It's simple. Drake would say this because he's not a colleague. He's a colonizer.
I don't think y'all fathom how much damage Metro really did. So I'm gonna break this down for you. You put out a diss beat, the first of its kind, at the height of one of the biggest rap beefs in history. And then you double down by saying, I'm having a contest. Whoever can make the best diss with this beat can get a free beat from me, Metro, possibly one of the best producers of this era. Sidestepping that, you gotta think, this is now being streamed worldwide, and everybody is in on it. You got French, you got Japanese, you got Spanish. The list goes on at this point of how many people have made their own diss track. So now it's worldwide. Also, and I don't think y'all thought about this either, because I had to think about it myself for a second. If Drake gets really butthurt, he can send a cease and desist letter. But even if he ceases and desists Metro, he can't do that to the whole world. In retrospect, this beat and those disses ain't going nowhere. He is gonna be stuck in a life loop of a beat that went viral that people use to diss him, making him lose as much credit as possible in the process. There is no recovering from this. Metro is diabolical for this.
I don't know if it's my ADHD or if something is in the water, but I physically cannot get Kendrick Lamar's songs out of my head. The holy trinity of Euphoria, Not Like Us, and Meet the Grams, I fall asleep to a bar from one of those songs playing in my head, and then I wake up with another one. Then I proceed to listen to all of them back to back for like 100 times. I have watched every single reaction video. I've never done that before, never been a reaction girly. And now I've watched every single one of them. Would like the real estate in my head back, if possible. It's getting worrisome. It is definitely a hyperfixation. And now I feel like a crackhead because I need him to give me more, and there's not more.
Need more proof that Kendrick Lamar got Drake to diss himself on Poetic Justice? Well, I think we might have found it. Hold on. Now, I can't remember where I saw it, but somebody said to go check out Infrared by Pusha T from back in 2018, and I did. Now, at the time back in 2018, obviously we knew that this was a diss track to Drake, Birdman, and Lil Wayne. But what I don't think people caught on was the reference to Poetic Justice. He says, how could you ever right these wrongs when you don't even write these songs? And if you look at this line from earlier in the song, believe in myself and the Coles and Kendricks, let them sock puppets play in their roles and gimmicks. And that tracks with everything we've been saying in the Poetic Justice theory. And Pusha T would definitely have been privy to this information because in 2013, right after Good Kid, Mad City comes out, he collaborates with Kendrick on Nostalgia. And for the people who are saying that this is a reach and like totally far-fetched, there are legions of women studying Taylor Swift's lyrics to figure out which ex she's talking about. And you don't think Kendrick Lamar is hiding messages in his songs? Or that it would be far-fetched that Kendrick would pimp Drake like this? Of course he would. Like, listen to what he's telling you about where he's from. This man literally had a dream that Pac came to him and told him that it was his job to carry the torch. And you don't think that he would have a visceral reaction to a pop star like Drake cosplaying rap? You don't think that he would pimp that butterfly? Go and look at the lyrics for Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe, Money Trees, Poetic Justice, you'll see like he has a problem with someone in the industry, and that someone he believes is a fake, and someone who isn't genuine, and someone who doesn't deserve to be in the same spaces. And I think it's clear that it's Drake.
Drake was all too happy to bring up Kendrick Lamar's height and his shoe size in his diss track. One thing Drake didn't think about, one thing Drake really should have thought about before he made that, one thing every woman knows, is that a man who's 5'6", or 5'5", or however tall Kendrick Lamar is, a short king, if you will stoop to the depths of hell in terms of their pettiness. The pettiness of a short king knows no bounds, okay? And one thing about me, you know who I will never puff my chest out to? You know who I will never puff my chest out to, whether or not they're Kendrick Lamar or not? Is the kung fu nerd, the short king kung fu nerd. Because at the end of the day, that's what he is. That's someone I'm never fucking with. Ever. In any context. Especially if I'm like the prom king that is Drake. I listened to Meet the Grams and my jaw was on the floor the entire time. And I knew Kendrick was going to take it there. Especially after the last song when he was like, that's something that you don't want to do. I was like, you better take your time. Take your time. Take your time. Take your time. Don't rush, Drake. Don't rush. Because it is loaded. When he said that's something you don't want to do, that meant it's loaded already. It's loaded already. All right? Anyway.
There needs to be some type of award for the record level of hating we have seen from Kendrick Lamar this week. This man has taught me that I'm not terrorizing my enemies enough. Forgive and forget, no! Resent and remember. God, this is it's even almost inspiring.
I mean, Kendrick is the one who did it. Kendrick put Richard Pryor in reverse at the start of Euphoria, which was like, you know, the beginning of this trilogy of disses, which were just comprehensive. He's using the symbol of the Wizard of Oz as a vehicle for his storytelling, which is what any really good artist does. And he always references the art that came before it. I'm an opera singer and a writer. I read a lot of philosophy, mostly about creativity. I read Indian aesthetic philosophy that says that the best art and the best artists reference other art. And they reference it as a way to uplift the spirit of the audience, to uplift the culture. But yeah, Kendrick said that too himself. I forget the exact quote, but he said something like, I'm here for the people, but Drake is here to pacify the people, or something like that.
Okay, so you guys are definitely going to call me crazy. I also acknowledge the fact that I might be extra emotional right now because I'm about to get my period. But I was just bawling, crying in my house listening to 616 in LA. Like, first of all, the beat is completely otherworldly. Like, produced by Jack Antonoff, insane. And he's talking about jumping planets and dimensions and raising his hands to a fallen sky and asking himself the question, like, if I don't go to war, what does that say about myself? Like, what does that teach my kids? What does that say to my people, to my city, like to the culture? Like, I have to do this. And I've just never had a diss song move me in that way. Like, I've never cried to a diss track. I'm completely overwhelmed.
I hate the way that you walk, the way that you talk. I hate the way. Bow, bow, bow. Shoo! 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 Beep, beep, beep. Let me see you push a T. No, none about that. Teaching your son to pray. You know none about that. Tell me your cheesing, fam. Cody. Tell me your cheesing, fam. Cody. What is it, the braids? I hurt your feelings. You don't work for me no more. Okay. We don't want to hear you say no more. We don't want to hear you say no.
Let it get shaky. I'm gonna park his son. Parkinson's. He said, headshot for the year. You better walk around like Daft Punk. with a fucking helmet on. Because we're going for the head. Why don't you go Pusha T? You're better off spinning him again than pushing me. Some shit just cringeworthy. It ain't even gotta be deep, I guess. Ain't 20v1, it's 1v20 if I gotta smack the fellas that right with you. Am I battling Ghost or AI? Feeling like Joe Austin. Funny he was in a movie called AI and my sixth sense is telling me to off him. And that's not even that guy's name. I'm allergic to the lame shit, only you like being famous. Yachty can't give you no swag neither. I don't give a fuck who you hang with.
Imagine someone dropping a diss track on you that goes so hard that people are calling another artist a genius for apologizing to that guy in advance. So hard that people have now memorized the make and model of the liposuction machine that your plastic surgeon uses. So hard that people are saying that the biggest mistake of your career was entering the same genre as that man. So hard that when podcasters with this complexion tried defending you, people called them unethical for even talking about hip-hop in the first place. So hard that when another rapper that you worked with so much as liked to tweet about the guy, he immediately went, "That was an accident, I swear." So hard that if you type in the word euphoria into Google, you no longer see the hit TV show that you've produced for 5 years. And so hard that people aren't even waiting for you to make a response, because they're telling you not to respond at all for your own good. And to top it all off, he just dropped another, and people aren't even calling this one a diss track. They're calling it a lecture from a father to his son. I think I would actually just pull a Thorfinn and go live on a farm.
Y'all going in on my comments, and let me just be very clear. I do not care. Y'all can get the grimiest, gangsterlicious man that you can find from Toronto. And you, I promise, drop that man in the middle of Mac and B week. He not seeing nobody from the real hoods of the United States of America. I do not care what y'all talking about. I used to be over there blinking like y'all act like the thugs of y'all community act like they got their personalities off of The Wire. Like it seems so inauthentic. Nobody is scared of a Canadian man. Oh my mama. I'm not afraid of a Canadian man. Y'all can have all the heavy artillery. Y'all can have all the guns, all the ammunition. I still, like, you're not seeing anybody from 6 Mile and Pelkey in Detroit. You're not seeing nobody from Finkel and Greenfield. And like, you're not, like, I promise y'all. The gangsters in Canada act like they are cosplaying in comparison. It don't seem genuine. I don't care how much street cred you got, whatever it is, it still be like the great value version of the ghettos of the States. I don't care. I've experienced both. And it's not, nobody's scared of a Canadian. All of y'all can yip y'all life away in my comments. I'm not afraid of Canadians. Like, please, you ever seen South Park? Yeah, that part.
The rap beef between Kendrick Lamar and Drake has gotten so big that it has transcended genres, and people like me who don't really listen to either of them are now fully invested. And I have a theory as to why. And it has everything to do with Drake as a concept and what he represents, rather than maybe who he is as a person, although it sounds like it's pretty terrible. Anyway, Drake represents everything we want to tear down in 2024. The rich yet righteous, the people who prey on the vulnerable, and especially those who enable others to do the same evil things. So when Kendrick Lamar pulls up with this song, pulls out receipts, and says, hey, this guy sucks for all the same reasons that you hate all these people, everyone's like, say less. It's a bop with impactful lyrics. In the grand scheme of things, we've all felt like puppets, and now we see the strings and we want to cut them. Hopefully this is just the beginning of a truth tidal wave.
Please believe me when I say I'm genuinely afraid of the people going around being like, oh yeah, no, Drake definitely won. Because on what planet did he win? Venus? Mars, perhaps. He didn't win on Earth. And I don't know if y'all are trolling or if y'all are being serious, but if you're being serious, I'm genuinely afraid of you. And I really think that like the stans and like stan culture needs to be a psychological disorder in the DSM-5, because even Drake at this point knows that he did not win. So why are y'all so delusional in thinking that he did? Like, that shit is crazy. Y'all need to watch the show Swarm on Amazon, because y'all the type of people that bite. That shit is crazy, for real. Pack it up.
For those of y'all not understanding what I said when it comes to Drake, J. Cole, and Kendrick Lamar's lyricism, I have prepared an analogy for you. Drake is like this container of crackers, right? You can eat these straight up. They're ready to go, require no preparation, just straight out of the box. Easily consumable, light, easy. J. Cole is if I took these crackers, put them on the plate, but added a couple things to it, you know? If you want to make some nachos, we got some salsa, we got some cheese, you know, a little extra something once in a while. Kendrick Lamar is like these crackers made from scratch, and the cheese made from scratch, and the salsa with bare ingredients that you need to put together to see the full picture. Are y'all understanding? This is not a diss to any of them, okay? Some people just want the crackers. That's all they want. Some people want the crackers with a little extra something, and some people want to start everything from the ground up, and that's okay. At the end of the day, they are all on different tiers when it comes to lyricism. That is what I'm trying to say.
I've got a theory. Now, I have been listening to, reading, analyzing this whole Drake versus Kendrick situation. Now, I have a comparison analogy that I want you to hear me out on. If we think about Kendrick Lamar, he is the equivalent of, let's say, top tier quality model, walking the best runways. Milan, Paris, Anna Wintour knows her name, like proper legit Vogue model. And then on the other hand, we have Drake. He is the equivalent of an IG thotty, the IG model, who is finessing their way to really have people believe that they're doing something, that they are a someone. But they've got to pose, they've got to fake, it's all a facade, because they've got to lean on these extra elements to have people really believe that they're a someone. That's been Drake this whole time. We've all bopped to Drake, for sure. Like, of course, Drake has put some bangers out there, but he's not Kendrick. He's not a real rapper. No one in their right mind could possibly think that they're in the same category, because they're not. One leans on finessing. One leans on having all these other pieces in place, having manipulated music to make it repetitive, like to make it addictive, to make it enjoyable, to make songs, to pretend they're not for TikTok, to create Tootsie Slide and Kiki. Like, he knows how to make, finesse, manipulate to have people believe he's really someone. Now, even all of the sales and the streams, none of that really means anything, because if you use the analogy of the IG thotty model, she might have millions of followers and get the likes and end up with an OnlyFans, but that doesn't mean she's actually talented, because does she have the BBL? Does she have the fake? And no shame to any woman that's doing that, but she wasn't born with that. Whereas the model on the runway, she's authentically herself, and she just is that girl. She just is that. That's Kendrick. Drake will never win this battle because he's not Kendrick. He's not a real rapper. It's over for you. Like, the gig is up. People are craving more authenticity than ever before in this world of, like, we're sick of the facade, we're sick of the filters, we're sick of everything. And that's what, there's a mosquito. That's what that's what Drake relies on for success. So without that, it's just like what we're seeing with the Kardashians, how the top will fall when there is not a strong foundation. It's interesting to watch.
Does Kendrick know that even God rested on the seventh day? Is Kendrick aware of this? Even the Lord rested on the seventh day. Kendrick rest. No, because if he doesn't rest, he'll drop another one tonight. There'll be another one tonight. The fact that this man came up with 3 fire, not 3 fire. I mean, my Instagram captions are sorted for a good 6 months. A good 6 months. He said, "You're not a colleague, you're a colonizer." I said, "What?" He made a sidestep shuffle for hating on Drake. He said, "Oh, V-Ho. And let me tell you something. When that will come up in the bar and the clubs, people are going to go off. People are going to lose their mind. He also addresses Drake's mother by her government name, addresses Drake's son, and basically he's like, "Your dad's trash. Your dad's good for nothing, and I'll happily be your mentor. because you need guidance in this life. Peak. Also, I'm sorry, I will be screaming and shouting to the rest of the year. What is it, the braids? To the rest of the year, because what was it? Was it the braids? Was it? The only person I feel sorry for in this whole thing, the only innocent party, yeah, is Drake's stylist. Because why Kendrick do him like that? Kendrick said, I hate the way that you walk, I hate the way that you talk, I hate the way that you dress. I just know that Drake's stylist is out there like, now what did I do? Why am I in it? What am I in it? What did I do? Drake, babe, I'm gonna be real honest. If you're gonna respond, make it a good one. Otherwise, bow out gracefully. You see what J. Cole did? You see how J. Cole did the flip, and reverse it? He reversed that little diss of his. He said, nah, let me say sorry. Sorry, brother. I love you. The boys are fighting. But I kind of like this rap beef when it's the men, because it's not every day the women be beefing. It's not every day. Also, when he said, when he called Drake a bad bitch, and he was like, when you are standing with Sexy Red, I see two bad bitches. Goodbye. Kendrick, rest. Right. In fact, if someone is local to Kennedy, to Kendrick, someone get him some communion wine and some bread. He needs to take Holy Communion. I don't know what's going to stop him, but that might, soften the blow a little bit, because bloody Nora, he's lost the plot. He's emptied the clip. He said, "Gra-da-da-da." Ciao.
Kendrick, I think it would be kinder if you shot that man. I think it'd be merciful, actually. I think it'd be like putting down like a lame horse. Because not like us being a banger and they're playing it in the clubs already. That's the worst part.
You also have to understand, not only do I hate Drake, but Drake represents a specific type of person. Both male and female, mostly male for me, but he represents a very specific type of person, especially in Los Angeles. He's like for the trust fund kids that wear chrome hearts, for the club promoters who post memes all day and try to find the next 19-year-old. Drake is for the people who go to High Mat and wrap their Lamborghinis in horrible raps, which I don't even know if you're allowed to do that anymore, but do you feel what I'm putting down? Drake is for the Zach Bias of the world. Imagine that. Now imagine, walk with me if you will, what if Drake falls off? In this whole subgroup of individuals, they kind of fall off too, right? Because it's like intrinsic. And then what would need to replace them? I think this is going to have ripple effects that I don't think we're quite, we're not aware of, but we're also not fully appreciating. And I'm just ecstatic.
Kendrick said, you didn't teach Adonis his ABCs enough. And C is for Crody. You should refresh the AirTag battery that you use to track your son before you talk about Whitney again. That's cold.
If anyone needed further proof that Kendrick is winning this thing, you should have stepped foot in a high school today. I, up until today, taught at a very Drake-centric high school. Rich Baby Daddy is the most frequently requested song to put on my class playlist. If I ask students what they're listening to in their headphones, Drake. The week after the leak was a nightmare. But today I walk in and I can feel that there has been a tectonic shift. The second I walked into the building, I could hear the buzz. I could kind of overhear the conversations, and I was like, oh my God. This is a Kendrick school now. I polled my classes on what they thought, and they were ready to throw down for Kendrick. I had like one Drake defender in each class, if that. And honestly, I feel bad for those kids because they were getting screamed at. I had a kid walk into class, phone over his head, blasting BBL Drizzy. And then he went up to his friends and got them to freestyle on it. Like, excuse me? This was a Drake high school. I have students who hate reading who are doing the most meticulous, close reading of these lyrics that I have ever seen. They're finding subtle quadruple entendres and like explaining them eloquently to their peers. This is a cultural moment and a true educational experience for everyone.
What's funny about the whole Drake and Kendrick Lamar thing is that at the very base of it, it is quite literally just grown men writing poetry about each other. Of course, it's like very well done poetry, okay? And like very high stakes poetry about like beating your wife and like having a secret kid and stuff. But it's still poetry written by grown men about another grown man. They're really just like, I hate the way you talk to me and the way you cut your hair, and I hate the way you drive your car, and I hate the way you stare. Honestly, just kiss already. Like, come on.
Yeah, somebody on Drake's team needs to be telling him to leave that man alone. Like, in the course of 1 month, we went from, there's a big three, and that is J. Cole, Drake, and Kendrick, to disqualifying J. Cole from the conversation completely because he made a really weak comeback to Like That and then apologized and disappeared. And y'all said that it's because he doesn't deserve to be in the conversation. And then I will commend Drake. He got out there and was antagonizing Kendrick, telling that man to come outside. No, you got to follow through. When Kendrick showed up, he punched that man in the mouth so hard lyrically that we went from you got to follow through, you got to stop hiding, to I don't want to do this anymore in the matter of 5 days. You know how hard you got to hit somebody in the mouth for them to go from come outside and fight me to I don't even want to fight you no more? And so I'm just going to keep that same energy. I don't want to hear Drake's name come up in the best rapper alive. I don't want to hear it. He's got back-to-back losses between Pusha T and Kendrick. I don't want to hear it. I do not want to hear it. Somebody on Drake's team has got to be out there yelling at him like this.
Leave that man the fuck alone. Leave that man the fuck alone.
And maybe the next diss track is going to be about The Weeknd, because that's apparently who's involved in all the stuff that's happening outside of his house, and A$AP Rocky and Rick Ross and all them, because the best rapping that Drake did in the entire beef was that middle section in Family Matters when he wasn't even talking about Kendrick. The section in that song, when he went after them, was incredible. Like, the cadence, the flow, the knockout punches, he was doing incredible. So maybe it was just the opponent. He needs to deal with lesser opponents. But he needs to leave Kendrick alone. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
Lots of questions tonight about a security guard who was shot outside the mansion of the rapper, I should say, Drake in Toronto.
Now, many people are asking this.
I always like to be honest. I'm definitely getting absolutely cooked lately on every single thing I do. Doesn't matter what game I play, doesn't matter what bet I make. It's just been a tough run. This shit is definitely not all roses. And like I said, I like to be honest about where I'm at.
But honestly, though, forget about me. Thank you for the 20-cent tip, Fardeeds. Appreciate that. That'll go to a good cause.
Hi, Drake. I have a question for you. In Nice for What, you say, and I quote, "High school pics, you was even bad then." Do you want to elaborate?
And in specific, thank you, Kendrick Lamar. I didn't wanna say anything to make him subject to any negative energy whatsoever, because people find some weird way to do that. But thank you again, and I appreciate you, and many blessings to you and your family.